Pablo Neruda, Nothing But Death. There are cemeteries that are lonely, graves full of bones that do not make a sound, the heart moving through a tunnel. In it, darkness, darkness, darkness. Like a shipwreck we die going into ourselves, as though we were drowning inside our hearts, as though we lived falling out of the skin into the soul. Karina Alves Gulius, Forgetfulness. Time could carry our weight. If only we could paint dice. To wait on the windowsill, wait for a guest, wait for a moment of your pride, or patience, and let it be, dusty or kept. Choice of an arm, reaching as far as your hands can touch your face. Do you cry or do you rest? Emily Dickinson, We Grow Accustomed to the Dark. We grow accustomed to the dark when the light is put away, as when the neighbor holds the lamp to witness her goodbye. A moment we uncertain step for newness of the night, then fit our vision to the dark and meet the road erect. And so of larger darknesses, those evenings of the brain, when not a moon discloses sign or star come out within. The bravest grope a little and sometimes hit a tree, directly in the forehead, but as they learn to see, either the darkness alters or something in the sight adjusts itself to midnight, and life steps almost straight. Edward Thomas, The Dark Forest. Dark is the forest and deep and overhead hang stars like seeds of light. In vain, though not since they were sown was bred anything more bright. And ever more mighty multitudes ride about nor enter in. Of the other multitudes that dwell inside, never yet was one seen. The forest foxglove is purple, the margaret outside is gold and white, nor can those that pluck either blossom greet the others day or night. Edwin Arlington Robinson, Another Dark Lady. Think not, because I wonder where you fled, that I would lift a pin to see you there. You may, for me, be prowling anywhere, so long as you show not your little head. No dark and evil story of the dead would leave you less pernicious or less fair, not even Lilith with her famous hair. And Lilith was the devil, I have read. I cannot hate you, for I loved you then. The woods were golden then. There was a road through beeches, and I said their smooth feet showed, like yours. Truth must have heard me from afar, for I shall never have to learn again that yours are cloven as no beeches are. Robert William Service, Dark Glasses. Sweet maiden, why disguise the beauty of your eyes with glasses black? Although I'm well aware that you are more than fair, a lure you lack. For as I stare at you, I ask if brown or blue your optics are. But though I cannot see, I'm sure that each must be bright as a star. That may be green or gray, 'tis very hard to say, or violet, the love light in their glow. Alas, I'll never know, to my regret. In some rhyme book I've read that Lady Bard has said, and deemed it true, men will not bite the necks of sweets who wear specs. Young man, would you? But though they balk romance, Columbus took a chance, and so would I. Even with orbs unseen, I'd fain make you my queen, and you in sky. Alas, I see you go, and I will never know your pupil's tent, so o'er a lonely drink I force myself to think, damsel, you squint. William Stafford, Traveling Through the Dark. Traveling through the dark, I found a deer, dead on the edge of the Wilson River Road. It is usually best to roll them into the canyon. That road is narrow. To swerve might make more dead. By glow of the tail light I stumbled back of the car, and stood by the heap a doe, a recent killing. She had stiffened already, almost cold. I dragged her off. She was large in the belly. My fingers touching her side brought me the reason. Her side was warm. Her fawn lay there waiting, alive, still, never to be born. Beside that mountain road I hesitated. The car aimed ahead its lowered parking lights. Under the hood purred the steady engine. I stood in the glare of the warm exhaust turning red. Around our group I could hear the wilderness listen. I thought hard for us all, only my swerving, then pushed her over the edge into the river. Wesoława Szymborska, Lot's wife. They say I looked back out of curiosity, but I could have had other reasons. I looked back mourning my silver bowl, carelessly while tying my sandal strap, so I wouldn't have to keep staring at the righteous nape of my husband's Lot's neck. From the sudden conviction that if I dropped dead, he wouldn't so much as hesitate. From the disobedience of the meek, checking for pursuers, struck by the silence, hoping God had changed his mind. Marilyn Crystal, Songs of Some Ruins. We loved like we fought, slugging our way toward each other, sending up flares to announce our advance. And when our city burned, we stood in the ashes and admired each other's bodies. Now I ask you, how will we manage without the steadiness of our long unhappiness? Lee Young Lee, A Hymn to Childhood. Childhood? Which childhood? The one that didn't last? The one that which you learned to be afraid of the boarded up well in the backyard and the ladder to the attic? The one presided over by armed men in ill-fitting uniforms, strolling the streets and alleys while loudspeakers declared a new era? And the house around you grew bigger, the rooms farther apart with more and more people missing? The photographs whispered to each other from their frames in the hallway. The cooking pot said your name each time you walked past the kitchen. And you pretended to be dead with your sister in games of rescue and abandonment. You learned to lie still so long. The world seemed a play you viewed from the muffled safety of a wing. Look and run, the servants screaming, the soldiers shouting, turning over the furniture, smashing your mother's china. Don't fall asleep. Each act opens with your mother reading a letter that makes her weep. Each act closes with your father fallen into the hands of Pharaoh. Which childhood, the one that never ends? Oh, you, still a child, and slow to grow. Still talking to God and thinking the snow falling is the sound of God listening. And winter is the high-ceilinged house where God measures with one eye, an ocean wave in octaves and minutes, and counts on many fingers all the ways a child learns to say me. Which childhood, the one from which you'll never escape? You, so slow to know what you know and don't know, still thinking you hear low song in the wind and the eaves, story in your breathing, grief in the herd dove at evening, and plentitude in the unseen bird tolling at morning, still slow to tell. Memory from imagination, heaven from here and now, hell from here and now, death from childhood, and both of them from dreaming. Thank you for listening, and please like and subscribe.